Okay, just saw The Eyes of Tammy Faye and oof, oh man. First of all, I gotta give props to the makeup department. I mean, they managed to make Jessica Chastain look borderline unattractive, and that in itself is a very big accomplishment. Uh, and the rest of the makeup was pretty good too. So as for the movie itself, I don't see it being nominated for Best Picture. It's not really a fantastic movie. There's just some really good performances by Andrew Garfield and Jessica Chastain. Speaking of which, I haven't seen any of the other big releases this year that look like they're going to be awards contenders, but right now, Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield are locks for Best Actor and Best Actress, respectively. Because I just got to see it. I just got to see what the other movies coming out later this year. See how the performances are in that, like Chalamet. See how good he is in Dune and The French Connection, or I'm sorry, The French Dispatch. But overall, I didn't know anything about the Bakers, but this did a really good job of showing really the sliminess and the like sinisterness of the televangelist world. Just it was gross. And the writing, I gotta say, there were moments that are meant to be like dark and serious that just came off as hilarious, because there are times in the movie when they're on camera or when they're just at a party talking to other televangelists, you could swear it was something you would hear on Saturday Night Live. Oh my God. I mean, you just got to see it yourself. But as far as capturing, like I said, the grossness and sliminess of these people, how they just manipulate their audience for their own financial gain, it was just gross to see at times. And I kind of liked how it compared her worldview, which is the religious worldview that I think should be the status quo. Like, religion should Tammy Faye's point of view, that religion isn't something that should be politicized. It's something that should bring people together instead of doing the job that it's done recently and really ever since, in dividing people. And really, like, looking at the teachings, like, you should treat people the way you want to be treated, and we're all people, and God made us in his own image. Then, like, doesn't that include the gay, homosexual, and trans people too? I mean, it says that we're all made in his image, so whatever. I'm not really religious at all, so I don't know, but that just makes sense as an interpretation. But anyway, it captured the rise of the bakers, and I really liked another part was when the reports were coming out. Like I said, I don't know anything about the bakers. I'm not religious at all, but their downfall, it was pretty entertaining to see. Just seeing how they were being investigated for using PTL network funds and donations to fund their own lavish lifestyle, just like televangelists are still doing today. I mean, it makes no sense to me. You're gonna send somebody on TV money because they say that'll make your problems go away. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but I guess to older people or some people, they want to believe that. But hey, televangelists are still, I mean, on top of it all, it's tax-free. So they're enjoying all those tax-free donations, all that tax-free church money, which, in my opinion, just shows that televangelists are the biggest grifters you'll ever see, just like self-help people. Oh my God, but you could really see the politicization that was and the outside influences creeping in, and scenes that are meant to look like they're archival footage. They use archival footage, but like the scenes where they have to make it look like Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield are on camera in the 80s or the 70s or the 60s, you know, the stuff they say, oh my god, and the stuff that Vincent D'Onofrio's character says, like, are you I could have sworn, like I said, I could have sworn I'm watching Saturday Night Live or a fucking satire or something from South Park. That's what it sounded like. Because honestly, I was laughing. And, you know, movies dealing with religion, I've noticed they don't get a lot of box office returns because, it's religion is a dividing force, even though it really shouldn't. Whatever. Anyway, there were only 6 people, including myself, in the theater, so there wasn't an issue here seeing anything. But I was the only one laughing when they were saying some really ridiculous shit. But overall, I mean, the performances were great. The movie itself, like I said, it's not getting nominated for Best Picture. It's a movie to showcase performances rather than to be showcased as an amazing film itself. But overall, I liked it. I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray or 4K when it comes out. But it was the second movie I'd seen in the theater ever since before Corona. First one being Shang-Chi. And man, I gotta say, I had a good time watching this. I laughed a little bit. I was able to really enjoy Andrew Garfield and Jessica Chastain. They're great performances. So overall, good movie, man. Really good movie. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Jessica Chastain and then Andrew Garfield's performance. So first of all, Jessica Chastain, like I said, lock for Best Actress right now. We'll see how other actresses perform in movies coming out in the prime Oscar bait season, like late October, November, December, January. See what her competition is going to look like. But right now, she's a lock. I mean, she's got that Fargo accent going, you know, because she's from Minnesota. And, you know, makeup department did a great job. She looks borderline unattractive, but you can still see Jessica Chastain's face shine through. Because, you know what, look at a picture of her. She's sexy. But overall, it showed how she was kind of just... She was just gullible overall, the way the story went. I don't know anything about them, but from what I can tell, from what the movie showed me, she was just kind of gullible and kind of just went along with the ride with Jim Baker, and he was really the shady, the gross one, just shady and really the bad to her good. Because apparently she just went on and, you know, got embraced by the gay community because she was, you know, she wasn't the one messing up. But moving on to Andrew Garfield, man, oh my God. He's a lock for Best Actor right now, man. I think he's officially moved on from Spider-Man because I haven't seen anything since Spider-Man. But anyway, he was great, honestly. He captured the sliminess and shadiness of televangelists like him, and you kind of see it from the first shot or scene he's in the movie. Because he shows that he's kind of using doing what they all do, using religion to their interpretation, and they're using it to send the messages they want you to hear. So, and he's obviously just manipulating his audience to get rich. They're still just like they all do today. And you see how he's actually envious of the other televangelists of the day because he sees their big houses they buy with that tax-free church money. And you see he's willing to kind of go Machiavellian. In the ends justify the means. I'm going to do what I have to do. And I'm willing to, you see evidence that he's really willing to manipulate his audience to get more donations. Like there's one scene where they address, that sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit, honestly. They're in front of the camera and they have all the newspaper clippings, and he says that we are under the biggest attack we've ever had to endure, and if you just double your donations, we can help pay our legal fees, and we can help keep PTO and pay the bills and everything. And in the meantime, he wasn't using the money at all for the bills. He was using it to have luxurious things and live lavishly. And another time where Tammy Faye says that she kind of almost pretty much cheated on him, and he makes her embarrass herself and admit it on the air to all their viewers, and how he's just you really see the evil side of capitalism with him, because even when they're making their religious theme park, he's kind of manipulating potential sponsors and the audience again to, give me more money. I need more money from you guys, man. More money, and we can get this done. We can get this done. But in the end, he's just you know what? He's just bad. He's just a bad person. And in the end credits, they did a good job with makeup for him as well. They really made him look like the archival footage I've seen on the 70s docuseries CNN did that I watched. But the one thing they didn't do right, I don't think they really could have pulled this off, but he has like a cartoon Scooby-Doo villain mouth. It's weird. It looks really weird, but I don't think they could have pulled that off. They would have to do some Jack Nicholson Joker kind of makeup to kind of pull it off, which I guess shows it can be pulled off, but I don't know. It's just not. That was the one thing I noticed when they showed a picture of him at the end, in the end credits. But overall, just showing the seediness of people like him, it was good to see, because they're not immune from criticism or showing. It's being objective, it's showing the bad. It's showing all of them, the good, the bad, all the messed up shit. Alright, I know I've briefly talked about the story already, but I'm just going to go into all the specifics, So it starts off, in Minnesota, and Tammy Faye's a little girl, and she really wants to go to church with her family, but you find out she can't because, oh my God, her mother had her with another man, and oh my God, she got divorced, and that's a tool of the devil. So she's not allowed to, because they're concerned that they'll be ostracized. Well, her mom outright says that she's been ostracized from the community just for getting divorced. It's one of those old bullshit rules like that America used to that America just like accepted, like, you get divorced, you're like a leper. No, you get divorced. It doesn't matter if your husband or wife is abusing you or abusing your kids. You're not allowed to get divorced. Oh my God, divorce? How could you? Oh my God. It's some bullshit. But Tammy Faye eventually just says, you know what? Fuck it. And she walks into the church one day, and I guess they don't know it's her because they haven't seen her because her mom won't let her come to church with the rest of the family. And she gets some wine from the communion, and all of a sudden she starts speaking like the gibberish tongues, like stuff like that. And they're kind of the freaky kind of religious, so they're like, oh, it's the Lord, it's the Lord, my God, you nobody touch this child, it's the Lord, she's a gift from God. And after that, it's a cut to college. She meets Jim Baker. You can see he's attracted to her, and you can see they're attracted to each other. And then he just kind of nonchalantly, after class, brings up, well, not really nonchalantly, you can tell he's kind of messed up about it, but I don't know if it's really genuine or if he's just trying to play an angle. But he just tells her that he straight up killed a kid one night with his girlfriend and just kept on driving. And then he says, like, he made a deal with God that if, like, he let the kid live, then he would become a pastor or priest or whatever the fuck they call themselves. I don't know what the levels are. And the boy lived, and he said that's why he's there. And she says that she just wants to help people who are hurting, and which is, it's what you think of when you think of religion. She wants to help people who are sad, hurt. They're hurting. They feel left out. She just wants to help them. She just wants to use like religion to help people, which is what it's meant to do. But it's been politicized, and now it's fucking ridiculous at this point. But so they start off with a little religious puppet show to get the kids involved because it's actually her idea, and you kind of see that like she's not just stupid. She's not stupid. She has her own. She was kind of behind stuff, but not really. So they have a little puppet show, and she says that we show the kids that Jesus can be cool, and then the kids bring their parents, and before you know it, we have our own church, Jim. And you see that her parents do not approve of Jim because she and Jim just like kind of get married, and you see kind of like the super Catholic sex scene where they're just kind of grinding on each other without actually having sex. And all the time they're saying, oh, we can't do this. Oh, man. And so the next shot is Tammy Faye's mom opens the door. They're married. They don't like Jim. And then you can see Jim's kind of messed up. I don't know if anything Jim feels is genuine at all because he's just so gross and slimy that I just wouldn't trust anything he says. But apparently a ton of people did. So they stay in a hotel. They're admiring Pat Robertson, who I guess is still alive. I don't know. It says, well, he is. The movie said at the end that he still runs the 700 Club, which I guess is a show. I don't know anything about that, but he gets them started at the Christian Broadcasting Network, and eventually they feel like, we can do better than this, Tammy Faye, and they start their PTL. And you see a little, like all these movies, all these little biopics. It's a classic, it's a classic biopic. So, like I said, it's not getting nominated for any major awards for being a film. It's a performance-driven movie, not really like a film masterpiece itself. It's got all the cliches of a biopic, whether it be sports or anything else. You got like the early stages, and then we get a little montage scene. We get a montage of their PTL channel growing. They're making more money. They're building shit. They're building Heritage. They're going to start plans for Heritage USA. They keep getting more and more money from donations. Their brand grows. Their audience grows over the years. They do some stuff. They just do like stuff to make Jesus and religion seem cool. And I guess that's what was appealing about them. And they just get donations. They're having telethons. And eventually you see that it's kind of taking a toll on their marriage because once like Jim has kind of being manipulated by the other fellow preachers or whatever, because there's a scene at Pat Robertson's huge estate and some other guy that Vincent D'Onofrio plays, or Butch Gilzine, or Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, but he's kind of like, it's very sexist, it's the 50s, but Tammy Faye he says, God has a voice in this fight. And then Tammy Faye says, who is he fighting? And then he says, the liberal agenda, the homosexual agenda. This whole culture of this country is going wrong. It's going towards hedonism. It's going towards hedonism and disaster. We need to help correct the course. And, she says what should really be the truth. I don't think religion should be political. And, Jim gets upset. They have a little fight in the bathroom, and then that leads to, the montage of PTL growing to the height of its powers. And then you see it's kind of, like I said, you can see it's having a strain on their marriage because Jim seems way too focused on the job, extracting money from unsuspecting people rather than his wife. And you see she's kind of, I don't know, it's things are messy in the marriage, and she keeps putting on, she has like a pound of makeup on her face all the time, and you see like kind of how he's starting to like insult her and stuff. He says, how could you expect me to touch you when you have all that goop on your face all the time? And he keeps getting calls from reporters, and investigations keep coming up until the very end, and that kind of goes on for a while. You see how he's manipulating the audience, and you see Tammy Faye develop a drug addiction to pills because she's random. Because once it gets to the 80s, you kind of see her just nonchalantly popping pills all the time. And unsurprisingly, she just passes out when they're doing like one of their promos, like, give us this much money and you can get a trip to Hawaii. And she passes out. She almost dies, apparently. And then she has a little mom joke thrown in there, like, oh, the only thing I'm addicted to is Diet Coke. And it was stupid. I didn't laugh, but there were a couple moms in the audience who laughed. And in the end, the downfall comes hard. You get just like all these biopics, you get the downfall, you get the montage of the press exposing their behavior, and you get the TV interviews, you get the tax, or not the tax, not the IRS, but like the feds coming in, taking everything, selling all their shit. They lose all their money, and eventually you get in the montage, you see Jim go to jail. Like I said, they lose all their money, they lose all their stuff. The other preachers in the religious community, in the televangelist community, I should correct myself, those are two different things apparently. They kind of exile them, or not really exile, no, ostracize them. And in the end, you see Tammy Faye with Jim in jail. She's kind of just living in a random apartment. People know who she is. They're kind of making fun of her behind her back. And, she walks up to three teens who are making fun of her. She says, you can talk about me, that's fine, but you have to look at me and say hi. and then you see like she finally gets a call back to sing at Oral Roberts University or wherever the fuck that is. And no, wait, it said it was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anyway, the movie ends with her just singing, and you get the end credits saying what happened. And yeah, that was the movie. Like I said, basic run of the mill biopic, kind of filled with all the cliches you would expect, but it's not a shitty movie though. It's all right. It's fine. It's a good movie. It's rewatchable. I'll rent it. I'll buy it when it comes out on 4K and watch it again. But I really enjoyed it. They did a good job.